Hey guys, back with another video in a different location this time. Sorry about the noise, there's a body of water behind you, but I can't help that. I thought this was a cool place to record. I was already here and I just thought it'd be cool, but anyway. Today I wanted to talk about how I feel like beauty requires imperfection. And I mean that in a couple different ways. The first way I do mean that is I think in art and literature and things, beauty requires imperfection in a very literal sense. Because art and literature and music and all that stuff is kind of is always a reflection of some part of the human experience. And I feel like with art, the human experience is never perfect. Life is never perfect. Things go wrong in life all the time. And you know, nothing is ever exactly how you want it to be. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think if everything was exactly how you wanted it to be, then it wouldn't be life. It would be, you know, you have to have bad with good, you know, so that's not a bad thing. But because life is never perfect, I feel like art as an expression of life also has to not be perfect, or not has to be, but just inherently is, and that's not a bad thing. I guess a good example I'll give is like, for a while I really liked punk music, and I also like some other like smaller subgenres of other music, and a lot of times they don't have good vocals, good objectively. I don't, it doesn't bother me, but I'm just saying like punk especially, like, or like you know, black metal or something objectively does not have good vocals, but I don't think that's a bad thing. And you know, when I was a teenager, I really liked kind of like lo-fi hip-hop and similar kind of emo, or you know, I don't know how to put it, just moody teenager type music. And a lot of the criticisms would be, oh, this music is repetitive, which it was, to be fair, or like, this sounds like it was recorded by a 15-year-old in their bedroom. And most of the time it was by 15-year-olds in their bedroom, but that was part of the human experience. Like, those 15-year-olds who were making that music were feeling those emotions and in their bedroom making that music. And I don't think that's inherently a bad thing. Now, would I listen to it now as a 21-year-old? No. But as a 15, 16, 17-year-old, it made me feel emotions, and it made me feel a part of their experience, and that is not a bad thing. I think using like, oh, this sounds like this person made it, or these vocals are, you know, whatever, etc., I just think it's kind of demeaning. And you can not like it, and you can think it's cringe, which I kind of think the music I used to listen to was cringe, but I can't deny that it helped me through things, and it, you know, helped me feel emotions and feel through emotions that other people my age, or, you know, at least semi-close to my age, we're going through. So I think that kind of imperfection is not inherently bad. And like, if you look at AI art, I mean, it has imperfections because of the hands and everything, but a lot of times it looks too good and it looks uncanny, and it's like, it's because there was no humanity behind it. You know, it's not expressed. I mean, there is, because it's kind of a collaboration of a bunch of different things that it's been fed, but still, like, it just, you can tell it's not made by a person with emotion behind it. So I think in art, having flaws is not always a bad thing. It's not inherently bad. Now, do you want to, when you're making art, do you want to strive to make it the best you can? Yeah, of course. But if you're, like, I draw, and I'm terrible at it. Like, really bad. I'm not just saying that and then you look at my art, you're like, wow, this guy's good. No, I'm objectively terrible at it. But my drawings are a representation of my experience, and I still do it. Now, will it ever go into a museum or be sold for any money because people like it? No, but it doesn't mean that my art is worthless, I don't think. It's just, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't stop me from drawing or from doing whatever I want to do. Now, that doesn't mean that things aren't objectively bad, because some art is objectively bad, and that can be criticized. You can criticize the 15-year-old making music in their bedroom because it's bad art, and that's fine, but acting like it's dumb that other people feel those feelings, because I've always been a person who, I'm much more about emotion than everything being perfect. Like, my brother's kind of the opposite. Like, if vocals aren't perfect in a song he's listening to, he can't stand it. But for me, if the emotion in the song is there and I can tell the artist put a lot into it, even if it's not really perfect, I still love it. Like, I actually, like, enjoy it. Not just I can look past it. Like, I enjoy it despite the bad vocals because, or bad whatever, because I can tell that the artist that's what's important to me, is that the artist put a lot of effort into it. So that's the first part of the video. The second part of the video is talking about life and how life is also not perfect, as I said earlier. Life is often, how do I put it? Life is never perfect. I mean, that's basically the bottom line. And you don't want it to be. It's not a bad thing that life isn't perfect, because there's sin in this world. There's original sin from Adam and Eve. And the human experience is living a life that's imperfect. There's always problems. There's always things you're going to struggle through. And I was thinking about this a lot with, like, relationships. Like, a lot of times guys, young men, I'll say, because I can speak from that because I was a young man and I still am. But a lot of times young men will want, most often it's a woman, but sometimes it's financial security, sometimes it's a good job. It could be, other things. But typically I find that they want a woman to come into their life and fix everything. And their life is going to be perfect. And this woman is going to be perfect. She has to be this, she has to be that, she has to be exactly what you envision this woman to be. Or the financial security or the job or what, insert whatever. But let's just say, for the sake of the argument, it's a woman. They think that they're going to find this woman and then she's going to be the perfect fit and everything's going to be fixed. And not only that, when they're looking for a woman or a job or whatever, they won't take any that has any flaws. And it's like, okay, so you're never going to find a woman then, because everyone has flaws, including you. And every job has flaws, and everything has upsides and downsides. So it's like trying to look for the perfect situation. I think you should have a healthy goal to have the perfect relationship with your girl, the perfect job, the perfect, being perfectly financially safe. I think that's good goals to have, with the healthy realization that it's not possible. And it's not possible to not have problems. And you try to make it so you have as little problems as possible, but you have the healthy understanding that it's not possible. And I think that's what's important. Because if you get too caught up in worrying about what you don't have, and worrying about how your relationship isn't good, and worrying how, the parts of your relationship that aren't good, and worrying about all that stuff, you're never gonna find the beauty in life. You're only gonna be chasing the perfect life that doesn't exist, You're only gonna be chasing the stuff that doesn't exist, and then you're never gonna be happy. Because how can you sit down and enjoy a beautiful sunset when you're, thinking about, oh man, I don't know, you're wishing for something? How can you enjoy the time you have with your girlfriend when you're thinking, oh, I wish she was this way, I wish she was that way? You have to appreciate what you have and work with it. Sorry about that. There was someone walking and I didn't want to interrupt their walk with my talking. Anyway, the bottom line is, I just think you have to appreciate what you have. And, like I said, if you don't have a girlfriend, you want to have a girlfriend and you want her to be a good girlfriend. That's a good goal to have. I'm not saying or if you're in a relationship that's toxic, don't just be okay with it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you have a good relationship, that has more good than bad, don't focus on the bad things. Try to fix the bad things, but don't dwell on them. It's not about not fixing, it's about not dwelling. That's what I'm trying to get at. Not dwelling on the things you don't have, which is something I do a lot. I dwell on the things I don't have, and recently I got called out on it kind of by my dad and stuff, and it's I realized it's a really terrible way to live, is thinking about everything you don't have or you wish you had. Why don't you just appreciate what you do have right now? God gives you so many gifts. God gives everyone so many gifts. Now, some people are in a lot worse positions than you. And you can think about them and be like, hey, this person's in a worse position than me. I should be thankful for the position I'm in. Because there's a lot of people out there who would give a lot to be in your position. All right? So that's, and I'm talking to myself. I sound agitated, but I'm talking to myself. I have so much. And I'm sure you do too, and I'm sure you can think about everything you do have. And once you change your mindset and focus on the good that you do have, things will get better and you will start to make changes in a positive direction. If you want a girlfriend, you know, because that's a big topic these days, I guess. If you want a girlfriend and you are constantly negatively thinking about it and thinking about how all these women you wouldn't want to date because of this, that, or the other thing, or how you'll never find the perfect one, or, you know, you have all these negative thinking, that is not going to help you get a girlfriend. You are going to see tangible results when you change your mindset, because women are not attracted to that kind of thing. They're attracted to men who are confident and all that stuff. So it's like, you know, you will literally, when you change your mindset and become a more complete person, you will see tangible results. And that's with everything in life. If you're just all doom and gloom and constantly, you know, thinking about everything you don't have and constantly just worrying, then you are gonna have a worse time in life, objectively. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. A lot of people are like, no, everything's terrible and I'm gonna be depressed about it because everything's terrible. Everything might be terrible, but that doesn't, you can change your mindset. You can't change the outside world, but you can change your mindset. And you can appreciate the gifts that God has given you. Because, I mean, go in the Bible, there's a million times that people who do not have a lot are very thankful for everything God gives them. And that's a good thing to look up to, I think, is trying to appreciate the things you do have and trusting in God in every situation in your life. So it's a bit of a rambly video. It was kind of a two-parter, two separate topics, I guess, but they're in tandem. I've been thinking about them in tandem. And I think that imperfect art is the best way to represent the fact that life is imperfect, and that's okay. And you can experience the imperfect, I'm going to put that in quotes because it's not really imperfect, the imperfect life. And every time that something bad happens, or every time how about not every time something bad happens, because like there are certain things that's going to be hard to think about this. So let's just say every time you struggle, every time you're struggling, you can think to yourself, at least I know I'm alive. At least I am experiencing the world. I am a human being experiencing the world, and this is how it's meant to be. And put it in God's hands and say, I know God has it. This is a struggle, and I'm not, you know, you're not going to like super enjoy it, but you can just be at peace with it and then tackle the situation. So yeah, sorry for rambling. Sorry for the noise in the background. I hope this video is all right. I'm not sure if it's going to turn out good or not, but it was a little more rambly than I would have liked because I didn't have time to write everything down, but whatever. So I'll see you guys when I upload next. Bye.